Good Wednesday morning. Got a brief update on corn dry down or lack of corn dry down. That question has popped up a lot over the last 2 weeks. Everything I'm going to show this morning is kind of a hypothesis. I don't know that we know for sure why the corn is drying down so slow, but I've got some things I think are contributing to it, and there may be multiple factors instead of just one. One thing that I had initially thought of looking at the chart I got in front of us here is our high and low temperatures throughout the day from basically July 1st till now. And I thought possibly this little area right here that dipped down, remember the couple weeks when it got pretty cool at night, I thought maybe that was contributing to it. And it very well may be. I just wrestle in my head trying to think through physiology of corn of why that would actually happen. We didn't have a freeze or a frost. So I really struggle with how that contributed to it, other than we didn't get any growing degree units there. One thing I do think is that we have a couple other things playing in the factor here, probably compounding on each other. First would be drought damage causing shutdown. So we have been extremely dry. Parts of the area, the soil profile is clear out of moisture. That's definitely going to make plant shut down pretty quick, and that would be one of my first thoughts of why we are seeing that happen. I'm actually going to show you something in a little bit on that. And then you add in the amount of southern rust and tar spot we had, which also basically destroyed some leaf area in addition to the drought and made it really shut the plant down in a hurry. So I took a couple pictures yesterday, um, and I wanted to look at two different spots in the field. So the one on the left was the droughty or damaged area where I thought the plants shut down. So unlike past years when plants shut down, usually you see a lot of ears drop. In this case, a lot of the ears were still upright. So those plants were, for the most part, dead, clear brown. You can still see a little green in your picture. In that same field, I walked to a muck spot, so a peat spot where I knew the corn would be green, and most years that's where the corn stays wet. And looked at that. So you can see in my pictures the difference there in the leaf area between the two. So I shelled ears off and hand sampled them and just wanted to see what the moisture difference was between the dead spot and the spot that was kind of checking out normal in that muck bucket. And here's what I came up moisture wise. So, indeed, just as I suspected, the corn that was had died off early was actually almost 4 points wetter than the corn in the muck that was dying a natural death. So, those plants probably did indeed shut down early. That either prolonged the black layer, messed up the black layer, where it didn't happen as normal as it did in the mucky pockets. Now, I will say in that drought area, that black layer was formed on all the kernels, and those kernels should start drying down. So, in areas that are really dry, I think this is pretty much a lot of what we're seeing on the corn having a slow dry down pattern. But then you think about irrigated corn in areas that actually got rain, and we still have slow dry down. And I think this is probably the thing that's causing a lot of that. I look at a lot of husk, and they aren't flaring open. They are fairly tight around the kernels this year in the whole ear. So you think about that barrier, all that moisture inside those kernels has to escape through the pericarp or the skin on a kernel and then get out through the husk and through the tip of the ear. And with these barriers on there, it makes it more difficult to get out. So I think between what we've seen with drought and disease making the corn die prematurely and some top dieback mixed in there as well, and then you add all these upright ears with tighter husk, I think all this adds up to what we are seeing in the field. So one thing for sure, it definitely is not growing degree units. We're picking up a bunch of those. So kind of another odd phenomenon to throw in for 2025, and hopefully this, as you think through this makes some sense and why we're seeing what we're seeing with corn. If you have any questions, please reach out.